Great. So I want to say hello and welcome to all my patients and friends of my patients who are here tonight. This is the second of three in a webinar series they put together to inform you how environmental challenges of pollution and toxicity are and in what way affecting your life. It is affecting our life, and what you can do to avoid the health challenges that result from these toxins that are present in our food, in our air, water, and what we put in our skin, on our skin. The title of tonight's presentation is the role of detoxification in the prevention of chronic degenerative diseases. So the first presentation is actually already posted on my website, www.drterabello.com. It's under the patient education heading. This webinar and Sunday's concluding presentation we're going to archive there as well. Research continues to document that there is a correlation with a lifetime of accumulation of chemicals from the environment and the epidemic of certain chronic diseases. These diseases include cancer, they include MS, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, high blood pressure, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, obesity, and many more. Research continues statistically. 1 out of 2 people develop cancer, and for 1 out of 4, it will be fatal. Diabetes rates are skyrocketing. Memory loss with dementia and Alzheimer's are at a high rate as well. The rise of chemical sensitivity or allergy and immune system weaknesses are also very concerning. Holistic research is centered on what's going on here. And why is that? Well, for medical research, it's like, woohoo, another vaccine or another drug to market. But in the holistic approach, we want to know, why is it? Why is it that the body that's made to be healthy, well, and vibrant is more often not doing what it was designed to do? And the focus has spotlighted the over 80,000 chemicals with over 1,500 new chemicals developed each year, of which the FDA has declared a mere 5% as being safe. This past summer, I was privileged to participate in what was known as the Detox Summit. It was a week-long program where over 30 international doctors and research experts presented their report of findings. I wish you were there with me because you too need to know what foods and supplements are needed to ensure that your detox pathways are fully operational so that you have more toxins going out than in. Otherwise, you get sick. And that's why I took the time to prepare this for you, so you too can have the knowledge and information you need to make good choices to protect your most important asset, which is your health. Some people are what I call good detoxifiers. They're blessed with the biochemical reserves to handle the toxins in our environment. And then some people are not, and they make a portion of the people that struggle with health challenge of chronic illness. But the truth of the matter is that we're all affected in some way, but from the unpristine environment that we live our lives in. The impact of environmental toxicity on health is actually quite startling. It's in the billions of dollars. There's a recent report that suggests between $568 to $793 billion is spent per year in Canada and the United States on disease that's caused from our environment. Diseases that are linked directly to environmental exposure can include many types of cancer, and those syndromes characterized by fatigue and muscle weakness and cognitive dysfunction. And our bodies must be able to manage and excrete these wide range of potentially damaging substances through what is known as a biotransformation process or a detox system. This detox system is highly dependent on nutrient support for optimal functioning. It's no surprise also that the nutrients that help to clear the toxins out of your body are also many nutrients that help to ameliorate or slow the progression of many serious diseases. One reason for this major impact of the environment on health is the magnitude of exposure we all have to toxic substances. We breathe it, we eat it, we drink it, and we can put it on our skin. There's a growing body of literature that suggests an association between toxicant exposure and the etiology of a number of chronic diseases, such as chronic fatigue, such as allergies with multiple chemical sensitivity, fibromyalgia, atherosclerosis, tiredness, myalgia, cognitive dysfunction. The association between environment toxicant exposures with syndromes such as multiple chemical exposures and chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, is gaining acceptance. That's basically a well-known fact. But even more striking is the connection between environment and the development of many other chronic degenerative diseases, such as mood swings, pregnancy outcomes, immune system weakness, tinnitus, Parkinson's, all the list here that you can see on the screens, learning disorders, joint pains, etc., and the list goes on. Possibly the largest amount of research has focused on the implication of long-term toxin exposure and the risk of initiation and the progression of a variety of cancers. For example, cancer deaths in children rose by 13% between 1973 and 1997, and the incidence of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and brain cancer in children rose by 30% for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and 21% for brain cancer in the same period. Part of the reason that we're seeing so much childhood cancers these days is because of that toxicity. We used to think that there was a filter in the placenta that prevented toxicity from the mother to go into the child. But they did research and they found that right away when the baby is born, the baby has to deal with over 257 chemicals, including DDT and other type of pesticides that already are part of the baby's makeup. Baby has to deal with those toxins, and also research is noting how much is actually in mother's milk these days as well. So an individual's ability to excrete toxins has been shown to be a major factor in disease susceptibility. So we're all prone to toxins, and really what prevents us from getting sick is our reserves that we have to be able to handle the detox function in our bodies. Otherwise, we get sick as well. So what are toxins? Toxins is a chemical or a mixture that can injure. The EPA calls them toxicants. And all we need is, we don't need a big dose of these. Just a minute, low dose is enough to cause much harm in a human being. There's different classes of toxicants, different sources of how we get pollution. There's industrial chemicals, and combustion pollutants is one of the largest categories of toxicants. Virtually everyone is exposed to halogenated hydrocarbons, known as PCBs, at some level during an average day. There's pesticides. There's over 800 different chemicals belong to this class of toxicants, and most pesticides are in some way toxic to humans. There's endocrine disruptors, which include phthalates, which are found in plastics and PCBs and pesticides. There's steroids in meat and DDT. Biologists have long noted problems with sterility and malformation of sex organs in many animal species, which have been linked to the presence of these contaminants in the environment. There's toxic metals. Toxic metals are abundant in the environment, and they have delayed effects because they accumulate in the body. For example, lead can be sequestered in your bones. It can replace calcium in your bones, and it has a half-life of 62 years. So we wonder when someone has osteoporosis and osteopenia, and they start losing the calcium in their bones, they also start letting the lead out into their system as well. Consequences of lead toxicity include DNA damage, a depressed immune system function, anemia, high blood pressure, kidney disease, and tooth decay. Food additives is the greatest toxin exposure by far, is because that's what we put in our mouth. But there's food and drugs and water. They all contain toxic substances that move through our gastric system to the intestines where they're absorbed. In fact, certain drugs, including growth hormones and antibacterials, are part of our food supply, and they are part of the more contaminating parts of our food. We get antibiotics from our meats and hormones from the meats, and it just pollutes our bodies. There's concern about the effects of low-level, long-term toxin exposure. It's now being evaluated due to accumulating evidence that low-dose exposure is associated with so many diseases and conditions. It's apparent that toxin exposure doesn't usually include individually. You just don't get straight lead. You just don't necessarily get straight mercury. But more toxins can act as an additive manner, and it's a lifetime accumulation, and they can exert their toxic effects through the same and different pathways. So it's a lifetime accumulation as we continue the life process. Even more concerning is the fact that many toxic substances are fat soluble, so that they can sequester in tissues and remain there for many years. In this way, toxins can continue to accumulate so that the body tissues are exposed to much higher doses than what environmental concentrations would suggest are present. So you can look at the environment and say, well, there's just a little bit in the soil or just a little bit here or there, but it embeds into our fat tissue. And that's one reason why people have a weight problem or obesity problems these days as well, because one of the things that our body does in its own wisdom, perhaps, is that it gains the weight, it gains more lipid, so it can sequester, it can form a web around the toxicity to protect the person's body. So a lot of times the people that gain weight actually have toxicity issues. And whenever we do weight management at the office, we always look at a detox first, and that usually kicks off quite a few pounds just by doing that. So the majority of toxins are lipid-soluble molecules. So water-soluble molecules, they can be excreted through the urine, but the problem is that a lot of these toxins embed into the fat tissue, and it's hard to get them out of or it's challenging, I should say, to get them out of the body. And so this attraction to the lipid, to the fat, allows them to be transported inside of cells with ease, where they can sequester from the rest of the body and exert toxic effects upon the rest of the body. So, but in order to remove these diverse toxins, the body has to have a certain system to get it out of the body. It has to convert the lipid toxins to water-soluble molecules, and then they can be excreted through the urine or through the biliary routes, which would be through the feces. We call this system of detoxification a biotransformation system, and there's two parts of it. It's phase 1, bioactivation, and phase 2, conjugation. So optimal detox requires a healthy, nutrient-supportive body, particularly the part of the cell known as the mitochondria, which is the energy-producing part of your body, and it's the part for cellular energy. Nutrients that support mitochondrial function include part of your B vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, and the mineral magnesium. And then we also need to protect the body from oxidative stress. So anytime you're dealing with chemistry in the body and chemical aspects, we have that machinery, so to speak, that biochemical machinery produces some oxidation, and we want to keep that heat down. And we need to have certain vitamins in the body, vitamin C and E and zinc and selenium and copper are beneficial. Also, what's very important is a healthy digestive system. And, you know, healthy digestion is something we always look at for any type of chronic disease for many different reasons. Here's one: detox mechanisms. Number 2, well, it's how you absorb your nutrients. That's why you eat. You eat to nourish your body, and that's the interface between what you put in your mouth and getting into your body, so that has to work well. It has to also get the toxins out of the body, so that's important too. I think I mentioned that, but I'm thinking about it in another way. And also that's your immune system too. Over 65% of your immune system surrounds your digestive system. So that's part of the consultation I have with all my patients is how is your digestive system, even if it has to do with back pain. And oftentimes when you restore proper bowel function, which is about 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, the back pain goes away as well. But in this case, healthy digestion is important. We have to have proper fiber, because what the fiber does is that it can bind to some of the toxins directly and provides a route for them to leave the body. In addition, adequate amount of water, you're drinking about 7 or 8 glasses of water a day, is essential, because one of the detox mechanisms of your body is the kidney, and the kidney needs to get flushed, otherwise it gets toxic, and then your blood pressure goes up. So you want to continue to flush the kidney by drinking enough water through the body. Oops. Adequate blood glucose levels are important as well. We want to make sure that your body has enough of proper carbohydrates and fat as well to support the alleviation of toxicity. The depletion or insufficiency of any cofactor or nutrient needed in the detox process is a significant factor in susceptibility to toxicity. So once again, if you're lacking in a vitamin C or selenium, if you're really depleted in it, it's going to affect your detox mechanism. Without getting into it too heavy, once again, there's 2 phases of detox. Phase 1, and again, here's the situation. You have a lipid, a fat-soluble molecule that the body needs to convert to a water-soluble molecule so you can urinate it out, basically is the picture here. So phase 1 prepares that toxin, and then phase 2 is the conjugation where the molecules will grab that toxin and excrete it from the body. Phase 2 has to keep up with phase 1. If there's an imbalance, then it can not be a healthy situation for the individual. And one reason why diets that are high in fruits and vegetables are associated with reduced susceptibility to diseases such as cancer is because fruits and vegetables are sources of and for many what's known as bifunctional modulators. So bifunctional modulators are generally fruits and vegetables, otherwise known as phytonutrients, and they give a good balance between the 1 and 2. So these are the main type of foods that you want to have more of in your body. So one of the goodies is pomegranates, and there's a substance from pomegranates called ellagic acid, and it's been shown to significantly reduce chemical-induced tumors of the lung and liver and enhance what is known as glutathione production. Glutathione is the main antioxidant. That's the main daddy. And the challenge is getting that main daddy in your system as a pill is that getting that main daddy to absorb through your mouth. But so we use other cofactors that help to raise up that glutathione, other things that are other supplements that will enhance the glutathione production. And that's what the ellagic acid from pomegranates will do. It also helps to bring down metal toxicity from metals such as nickel. And again, it balances the detox mechanisms. Also, there's a good body of evidence about the health benefits in a class of flavonoids found in high concentrations in green tea. Green tea is a bifunctional modulator. It helps both of the phase 1 and phase 2 to get the toxins out of your body. It has anti-carcinogenic potential, and it's a strong antioxidant. In fact, the National Cancer Institute has investigated the potential of green tea extract as a chemotherapeutic agent. Green tea flavonoids have been shown to promote optimal intestinal microflora, so it helps your belly, the good stuff. It keeps the pH, the acid-alkaline balance, in good shape in your stomach as well. It supports healthy bowel function. And these are 3 qualities that further support optimal detox. So right on with the green tea. Also, watercress, like other classes of phytonutrients known as crucifers, that includes broccoli, inhibits chemically induced lung and colon cancer, and promotes excretion of carcinogens. So more watercress and broccoli has also been shown to be protective against cancer and likewise detox processes in your body. So an overall protein and carbohydrate, fiber, and fat nutrient base is important for overall healthy metabolism during the detox program. The fiber supports the colon health, which decreases toxic burdens on the body and provides a first line of defense in the system. Fibers such as rice bran promotes the removal of toxins that can be excreted through the bile, through the bowel, and decreases absorption of some toxins. High quality protein supports phase 2. NAC, known as N-acetylcysteine, increases the level of glutathione, which is what we strive to have high levels in our body to keep us healthy. And choline, methionine, B12, and folate These are known as labile methyls, and what that means is that they're used during metabolism, and therefore they require replenishment. So choline is probably the most important of the minerals for detox. Choline deficiency has been shown to result in fatty liver and other liver diseases. Silymarin, otherwise known from, comes from milk thistle. If you take about 400 milligrams per day, it improves liver function, it helps to increase the glutathione, and it also possesses strong antioxidant activity, and it also acts as a bifunctional modulator. Artichoke extract is hepatoprotective, so it protects your liver. Your liver is a big gland, organ, hormone maker on the right side of your body, right below your ribs. You're actually more heavy on the right than your left because the liver is so big, and it's got a lot of functions. And so we need to protect it for many things that it does, and primarily that being for detox. So let's summarize here and sort of come in for a landing what we've been talking about and the way forward. So we want to optimize the body's ability to manage and excrete toxins, and that's essential for optimal health. We're all exposed, all of us living on this planet, we're all exposed to toxins. We all have lead, mercury, arsenic, and cadmium. I mean, I remember as a kid playing with a broken thermometer, and maybe some of you out there can probably say, yeah, I did too. But it was fun, wasn't it? But we didn't know any better. Pesticides, you know, it's in our fruits and our vegetables, and that's one reason why I should always strive to go organic, particularly with what is known as the dirty 10 or dirty 12 vegetables and fruits. Industrial compounds and pollutants, they're associated with so many different types of diseases and cancers. Particularly, you know, if you feel like you've had certain signs and symptoms. So if a person is experiencing a breakout of acne or rashes, or is experiencing or has experienced headaches, any aches or pains or fatigue, muscle weakness, ringing in the ear, tinnitus. A lot of people have that. Sometimes it's TMJ, it's your jaw joint. Craniosacral motion can be off. And the third choice would be toxicity. Fertility problems, that's a big issue. Gosh, memory loss and immune depression. These toxins remain in the body for many years, and we're exposed to much higher toxin dosage than present concentration suggests. Basically, it's a lifetime of exposure. The body has a complex system that converts them into non-toxic substances for removal. The main part of detox occurs in the liver, but all of our tissues have ability to detox. Sweating is good. When you sweat, you're detoxing. When you urinate, you're detoxing. When you're breathing out, you're detoxing as well. So we want to also make sure that par and course for this detox mechanism is to make sure that the heat, the biochemical heat from the biochemistry is cooled down by having certain nutrients for oxidative stress, which includes the vitamin C and E and zinc, selenium, and copper. So we want to have both phase 1 and phase 2 balance. Phytonutrients, fruits and vegetables are it as far as containing bifunctional modulators. And you know, it's all about balance. And you know, you might not like one fruit, or you might not like certain vegetables, but there's plenty to choose from. And it's imperative to stay healthy and well that that balance be put in our bodies for the detox purpose, for alkalizing the body, and also for natural waters and sugars that these type of fruits and vegetables provide us. We want to minimize exposure. Well, do the best you can. If you break a mercury thermometer, don't play with it anymore. Don't roll around in a schoolyard that used to be a tire plant or something like that. And you just want to do the best that you can to stay away from areas that are perhaps industry. If you're around industry, then you want to look at maybe doing, or you work in industrial areas, doing more to help those detox aspects of your body, and to optimize it so that you stay healthy. All right, so let's talk about action steps here as we begin to land here. Do you or have you experienced any of these conditions that were presented in the webinar? We all know people that are sick. Unfortunately, I think sometimes that we know more people that are sick or are challenged with certain illnesses than are healthy. And that's certainly not the way the body was designed to be. And that's why we ask the question, why is that? And that's why I do my work as a holistic physician, because it really just doesn't make sense. But when you look at this research and you take an objective look at the way that we eat and the way that we conduct our lives, you have to give the body the resources it needs to handle the stress. Otherwise, you get sick. So, if you feel like you have experience or know someone that experienced these type of challenges, what you want to do, there's ways that we're working with detox at the office. One of which is what you can see on your screen now is that we send away to doctor's data to do a test, to do a urine test, to see what kind of metals are in the system: mercury, arsenic, cadmium, lead, aluminum. I mean, we get these. I mean, aluminum is from aluminum deodorants, aluminum foil, baking soda, antacids. They all have aluminum in it. There's a correlation between aluminum and dementia that's been long proven and then not proven, and it sort of goes back and forth. But I'm looking at each of my patients individually to see what would be the best choice. Part of it is based on your history, part of it is based on muscle testing, and part of it is based on where you want to go with this as well. This one aspect that involves the urine test, we use a product called DMSA. DMSA helps to get the chemical, it gets the metals out of the fat tissue. It draws it out. And so we do a pre and a post test. It's a 6-hour urine test. Pre is just a urine pee, 6 hours. We collect it, we send it to the lab. And then we do another part of the test, which is phase 2, which will include a challenge of DMSA. And then we send that to the lab too. And then we get a nice readout to say, okay, this person's high in lead, or this person's high in mercury, cadmium, aluminum, whatever the case might be. And then we can choose to use either the DMSA to help to rid the body of the metals, a product that also we can use called Chelax, and we can use specific homeopathic products too, like for aluminum or lead, or depending what's found. Another way that we could approach this, if a person has a weak kidney, then we don't want to use DMSA. If they have some other health challenges, don't want to use DMSA either. It can be a little bit challenging on the body. So we'll go just as an effective route using the program that Metagenics has called Clear Change, and they have it in a nice kit where they have a product called Ultra Clear Renew and another product called AdvaClear, and a program to use with it. And it's about a week 10-day program, I do believe, and I think it's about 2 weeks. I'm sorry, and it's very effective because it provides the agents that we've talked about in this webinar in It's basically a drink that you blend, and it comes in different flavors. I'm currently using some of it, peach flavored, and not too bad as far as taste. The other way that we could do it, if a person is not too toxed out and just wants to do a light cleanse, and which is a healthy thing to do. Many people do this, like in a change of seasons. Nutrimetrics has a 7-day cleanse, and you can order this online from my website at www.nutrimetrics.com/my name, Mark Terabello, DC, and you can go there and you can search for the 7-day cleanse, and you can have a kit sent right to your house. And it's a good program. I would recommend that this kit for someone who wants to clean their liver and maybe also has had some digestive issues. It also works with the colon cleanse. So if there's like constipation or regular bowel through the history, and maybe also some, and again, liver centered, I would do this type of cleanse. It's nice and easy and not too expensive as well. All right, so what's next? Our next webinar will continue on Sunday at 8 o'clock. And we're just basically going to wrap it up. And what I'm going to do on Sunday is, when I talked about the Detox Summit earlier when we first started, I was privy to the expertise of like over 30 international, well-respected doctors and researchers that I know of and heard of, and you probably heard of some too as well, and some not, but that have credentials a mile long from around the world, not only from the United States, but from Italy and Greece and other areas as well. And I took notes, and I put it into a PowerPoint, and I'm thinking that we can go through what each of them said, and you can jot down their names. You can go to their sites. Some have Facebook sites, and some you can just Google. Many of them have books, and I want to share some of their pearls of expertise. So I invite you to join in on Sunday at 8 o'clock, and that's what we shall do. And I think I'm on my last. Oh, this is a preview. So all right, here's a preview. Okay, wrong button here. And so we're going to sort of stop the webinar here. And I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We will archive this on our website probably within a few weeks. I wish you a good night, and we'll see you in the office. Thank you.